All right, everybody, it is the most wonderful time of year, a very joyous time, a very festive time, also a time that everybody needs to stay frosty. And I'm not using that as a snowman reference. I'm saying be aware of everybody else around you on the roadways. Who better to break this down than Sergeant Paul Tapao, who has seen his fair share of irresponsible driving in your day. You worked in highway patrol, as you said many times on this program. You said GPD sees an uptick because of, you got office parties, general, festive, celebrations this time, and people really don't watch their own alcohol consumption before they get behind the wheel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for bringing it up. We want to stress that this is the holiday season's in full swing. We're starting to see the Christmas parties. We're getting the invites to attend some of the Christmas parties.
People come back from the States.
Yeah, absolutely. And people celebrate, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating, but we ask that we be responsible individuals when we're celebrating. And I just want to drop it back to where we are now with our fatalities on Guam. We are at number 22, and we have 20 fatal crashes that attributed to over 22 fatalities. And we're closing off the year, and being a former crash investigator, a lot of our cases that we've investigated, alcohol was the #1 contributing factor to the causation of the crash. And I don't really necessarily like to use this as a reminder, but in hindsight and in everything that we're doing and in everything that we continue to do, we want to tell the community and we want to ask the community, let's do our part. Let's be responsible, gift the gift of life, and designate a sober, responsible driver that's going to take you home safely, and it's going to help keep our roads safer for everybody to enjoy.
And how can people be better neighbors? And I mean, people say, you should carpool or you should be the designated driver. And, are there any other tips you can give people?
Plan accordingly. If you're really adamant about attending this Christmas party or this function, this Christmas celebration or holiday celebration, plan accordingly. Find somebody who's willing to be the life of the party and be that responsible, sober driver. And it really can be cumbersome for some people because everybody wants to be a part of the festivities, but you really are that important piece of the puzzle that's going to help keep everybody safe. And there's a lot of perks that goes to being a sober driver. You may get free meal, you can get free drinks and everything.
Charge your friends. Say, if I'm the DD that night, everybody gives me $5. That
Absolutely.
covers my gas and that.
Yeah, be creative. You're doing your part, and it's very noble when somebody steps up and they take the role as a designated driver, because it really shows that they care about this, not just their safety, but the safety of their friends and their loved ones. And we really ask, and we stress this, a responsible sober driver. It's not one drink that I'm sober, I'm still good. My second drink, my third drink, this is my limit. No, it's absolutely zero, no alcohol. You're the designated driver. You're going to be behind the wheel, and you're going to take us home safely.
Okay, so when you talk to kids, kids are so impressionable, but especially when you talk to teens, right? Teens are like, that old guy, Sergeant Tapao, like he doesn't know what he's talking about. I can do it. We're all tough. We're too cool to care and everything like that. How do we pass this message on to young people and make sure that they don't get started with bad habits?
Man, it's reality. We use real, actual. The best thing about it is the testimony to the kids. You let them hear it exactly where it comes from, and you speak from the heart. And we also use a lot of our peer mentorship program. When we talk to the kids, we ask people to come up and help us spread the message. But I just go straight forward with the kids, and I tell them this is the consequences that will happen. So really, it's planning accordingly, understanding that there are consequences that will happen in the event that you're not prepared for it. And you can prevent this by just designating a responsible, sober driver this holiday season.
And this actually has bearing on this week's Crime of the Week, as I understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. This one we're talking about the burglary that occurred over the week, or the past holiday season, the Thanksgiving weekend. This was the burglary that happened at the Guam Raceway Park. All
right, here's what you can do to help solve this crime.
On Saturday, November 24th, officers from the Dededo Precinct Command entertained a burglary complaint that occurred at the Guam International Raceway Park in Jigo. And the police report suggests that at around 3 in the morning, unknown individuals had entered the Guam International Raceway Park and broke into numerous storage containers and the facility's storage area. An assessment was made by staff in which it was identified that 2 Polaris UTVs and the supplies from the upcoming Trench Kids event, to include miscellaneous items, were taken. And the Guam Crime Stoppers is reaching out to the community for their assistance. In addition to the cash reward that the Guam Crime Stoppers will be paying out in the event information nets an arrest and a grand jury indictment, the Guam International Raceway Park will be offering a $500 reward as well. If anyone has any information about this crime or any other crime, you can call our 24-hour hotline at 477-HELP, that's 4357, or submit a tip online at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. All calls will remain completely confidential, and a cash reward of up to $1,000 could be paid if the information provided leads to an arrest and a grand jury indictment. Your call does make a difference.
All right, Sergeant, to bring it all home, there's a wildly successful campaign. Is it Get Sober or Get Pulled Over?
Drive sober and get pulled over. So Merry Christmas, Guam. On behalf of the Guam Police Department, our beautiful ladies at Office of Highway Safety, our gift to you. More DUI checkpoints, more DUI enforcement by our famous Highway Patrol guys and our patrol officers. So again, we're staying true to the campaign, drive sober or get pulled over. Our mission is make sure everybody's safe on the roadways this holiday season.
And just because it is the holidays, you're not just saying, oh, I'm going to let you slide. You find someone that's violated the law, you guys are coming down hard.
2 days in jail. Think about it.
Ooh.
I mean, some of the consequences, you're lucky if you get picked up by an officer. You're lucky if you get placed behind bars. But you also got to count your blessing that you didn't crash or you didn't cause a fatality.
And that's 48 long hours to think about it.
Absolutely. Think about the consequences.
All right, Sarge, thanks as always. Happy holidays to you.
Thanks for having me. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. Please stay tuned. We are back right after this.